Alrighty, welcome to the Three of a Kind podcast.
With only two.
With only two. First one with just you and me, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Missing Eric over in Japan.
Yeah, he's living the high life at the moment, which is cool. I mean, heck, that's the part of having business partners, right? Like, he knows I'm going to hold the fort. He can live his life, and he really is a good human in making dreams happen for his lovely wife. So it's good. I'm glad he's able to do it.
He's getting plenty of content.
Yeah, it's
a bit
good.
of stuff going out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool to see.
I think that's cool about like our sort of stuff is like there's a lot of people that want to like I've picked up a lot of cheaper like video and camera equipment off of Marketplace from people that just bought something that they didn't need for a holiday that went on and never created anything.
100%. 100%. Oh, I've done it. I've picked up gear. Like just outside, I've picked up, you'd be blown away. I've picked up 5 Pelican cases. So the ones that you can use for travel on, carry-on luggage. So they're usually like $400 a pop. Mm. I've picked up, I think 5 of those for only like $150 a case.
Sick. Awesome. That's good as.
Not bad.
Yeah, good as.
I love Facebook Marketplace. I'm such a bargain hunter. But
I've met my first proper camera that I got. I bought a DSLR off there, but my first mirrorless camera that I bought with full rig setup and the Mate box to make it look more professional and everything.
Yeah.
I got off Marketplace for like $1,500. Like fucking unreal bargain. It's untapped, I reckon. Like if you're creative, scroll through freaking Marketplace, you will find
it's a dangerous spot. It's a dangerous spot.
It's an addiction. You can get addicted to it for sure.
Yeah. Hey, what do you reckon about a little bit of strategy? I know we talk about Facebook Marketplace. I could talk about that all day, but strategy. Talk to me a little bit. What's it looking like for you at the moment? About keeping people aligned, making sure people are getting goals, or making sure people are hitting KPIs. Like, how do you like to keep people aligned with that you're working with?
I think the thing is to be super clear on the beginning. Like, a lot of the time, and I didn't do this earlier on, we're not sure what we're actually measuring. So, like, clients can kind of be like, have an arbitrary goal of, I want to reach as many people as I can possibly reach, or I want to grow the social media, I want to grow the following, whatever. What does that actually look like? How many do you want to grow by? When do you want to grow it by? What things are going to lead to growth? Like, for social content, it's typically views and watch time are going to be things that are going to affect that massively. If we can get our videos to reach more people and reach the right people as well. Like if we're just bringing on crap followers, that's nothing, but just being really, really clear about that. Like we talked earlier as well around some people that want to use this sort of stuff for leads, some people want to use it for branding. So you just got to get really clear on that early. Then getting the stuff isn't hard. It's literally just look at the analytics. But the hard part is if you're both not on the same page.
Yeah. And asking exactly like you said, why? And going deep into the why, 4 or 5 layers, peeling it back like an onion and being like, all right, why am I doing this? Because I want to get more sales. Cool. Why you want to get more sales? Oh, because I want to have a profitable business. Okay. Why do you want to have a profitable business? Well, I want to be able to support my family and do all the things I want to do. Okay. What sort of things do you want to do with your family? I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do this. Okay, why do you want to do that? Oh, because I'm actually feeling like I'm spending too much time at work and I'm not enjoying the fruits of my labor with my family. Okay, got it. Cool. That's why we're doing this. Not because you want more attention, because you actually just want more time with your family. So, okay, fair enough.
That's an important question to ask, right? Because even for us, that's an important question for us to ask as well, which we can get into later. But asking that to a business owner is important because they might go, I want to create heaps of content. I want to blow our business up on social media. And then you could get down to it. They But in reality, they only want to commit like an hour, maybe a couple of hours a month to it. And it's like, you don't really want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
we can do a lot with an hour, a couple of hours of a client's time each month. But if they're like, in global domination sort of mindset, but they don't actually really want that, like, that's important to figure out early.
Do you know what's amazing one I saw the other day that was incredible? And it speaks to the point of people wanting all these views and all that sort of stuff. Is someone was doing a presentation on one of these like influencer cons or, video cons that are out there at the moment. And not as in like con in artist. I'm talking like conference. Just to clarify. That there's like all these people are out here being like, I want 100,000 views or, I want this. And it's just like, let's look at the conversion rate. Like on about 1,000 views, you're probably going to get, if you've got a really good video and offer and process in place, you might get like 10 leads. And if you up that to 100,000, are you really going to be able to service and execute, unrelated to like, your social media, but like your actual offering and service delivery of what you do, whether you're an accountant, financial advisor, mortgage broker, whatever it is, are you actually going to be able to execute on all these leads? And figure that out and go, hey, I know I actually only want, 50 good leads a month. And from those 50 good leads, I only really want to close, 10% of them. So I only really want to land 5 clients. It's like, we don't need to be going as hard. We only need to be generating enough content to get you 5 leads. We don't need to be generating you like 100 leads as a client, sorry. So that's another interesting question we like to talk about with people, because it goes to that whole thing of why is what are we actually achieving and what are my KPIs as your like personal PT in the social space.
It is important. I mean, even on the other side as well, like we've got clients that want to be monetizing their content sooner. And with that, we're just looking to complement an ad strategy, not get 100,000 views on organic social media. There are systems that you can put in place to convert from social media, just completely for free. But I think if you're looking for it quick and you're looking for direct ROI, and don't have the systems in place to nurture people long term and all of that sort of stuff that you do need, then that's the route that you go. We've got other clients that they want to blow up, they want to reach 100,000 people and stuff. If they get no clients from that content directly, that's completely fine, because they're already doing all the other things for their lead gen, whether it's networking, referral partnerships. They're already running advertising that is giving them the ROI. That this is more a thing of branding, lead nurturing, audience building, more so than conversion. So again, it comes back to like, what's the goal? What are the resources you want to be putting towards this? What's a priority? If you need money right now, like, should you be throwing $5,000 a month at something that like isn't necessarily going to give you a result right away? Maybe not, and that's fine.
How do you think people navigate that? Sort of the entrepreneurs. How do you think they navigate those sort of conversations with the the higher ups or the people above them? They may have this great idea, but how do you think someone approaches that without the skill set? Obviously, we've been in business a while now. We're getting used to these sort of conversations. You'd hope we are getting used to these conversations of going in and convincing people and telling them or helping them realize what they need. But people that haven't maybe got the skill sets to open that conversation and be able to handle that conversation, what would be some tips
for that person that's like working underneath another business that
wants to be
in a marketing department or something like that,
that has a great idea, that maybe has the extra skill sets or can organize the skill sets, but has either lack the willingness or want to push to get there? What would be your tips and tricks for that person to be able to make that whole process a bit easier?
we talked about in that other episode with Vince, in terms of it's a sales thing. Like, I think if you go in try to convince someone and prove that it will work, you're kind of at a disadvantage. You can't. It's almost a like lose, because like if you convince someone that kind of doesn't want to be convinced, because I think the word convince almost assumes like that person resisted in some way. That if it doesn't go well, like you're probably not going to get their support, and if it doesn't go well, they get to say, "I told you so."
Yep.
So I think first thing is going like, how do I get this person to conclude that this is a good idea and that this needs to be done themselves? And that's just asking the right questions. Like if you go in
being patient.
Yeah. Don't go in trying to like pitch and tell other people what to do. Ask the right questions, provide options, but lead people there themselves. And yeah, I think being patient's a good one.
I mean, shit, I struggle with that. I struggle with being patient in all aspects of life because I'm very go, especially if I had my coffees. But as of late, like, I'm really trying to slow down in my sales process, because if I don't hear back from someone within a day, I'm on the phone. It's just like, hey, have you read the quote yet? What are your thoughts? You know, what's going through your brain? And it's just like, oh, you know, whether it's too expensive or whatever, I'll handle those objections. Not like cut my services cheap. It's like, oh, you know, this is why we charge this much. You know, it takes this amount of hours. Similar to what you said in the previous episodes. You know, people are blown away with how we can actually make things as affordable when they have the understanding of the value. But yeah, for me, like as of late, it's just been, I need to let things foster. It's like that whole psychological trick where the speaker gets up and they start the half of the sentence and then they pull out the glass of water and then they pour the glass of water. And it's that whole demonstration of just like holding people in anticipation. I'm trying to get better, but I think it's a really important thing.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. I think as this is the thing as well. If you're, what I've learned, and I'm even training Tabitha on this as well. There's times where like we know what the right path is, but a client has their mind set on a certain way of doing it. And again, I can educate them. I can like lead them a little bit, but I'm a big believer, and this is just across the board with heaps of shit. If you go to disagree, like really go head to head with someone and completely disagree with what they're saying, people don't like that. No one wants to be like, particularly if someone hasn't really set in their mind, right? So like, I think sometimes you've also got to like try to lead clients away from pain whilst letting them feel a little bit of pain to get there. Like sometimes like, hey, this is what I would suggest to do, but like if that's the path that you really want to go down, we'll do it. But this is what I think will happen. But I think that's important, because I think that comes into like the immediacy thing where like as any sort of creative or any sort of expert, whether or not you're working for someone else or you got your own business, you might know what the best way forward is, but you've also got to get everyone else on board with that. Same with like a sales call. Someone else has their own idea of how it's going to work, and you've got to kind of educate them on what the best way is. But I think it's hard because, yeah, if you go in and go like, we should not be doing this, and this, and they go, oh, that's what I've been thinking for ages. Some people can receive that well. I think you also push away a fair few people as well doing it that way.
You got to know the room. You got to know your person. You got to know who you're talking to. But yeah, I struggle with this still, because I just want the best solution for someone, and it frustrates me when they're in front of me and I can help them. But you know, like any business, I can't. I'm not charity. I need to be able to support my team members, and I need to be able to make it profitable. That, you know, I'm going to be able to expand, get them new tools, all the extra things. And it frustrates me when I'm just in front of that person. It's just like, I can help you. You just need to trust me. But I'm not going to say that in the meeting because you don't want to give your clients that sort of level of guarantee.
The amount of times I've thought of just like blatantly saying, "Can you just trust me?" Like, I promise, I'm not trying to screw you.
Yeah, yeah.
Which sounds like the most con artist thing. Like that doesn't sound like a very convincing thing to say at all. It's like that's exactly what someone would say if they were trying to screw me.
I'm not going to screw you, but just give me your credit card details and I'm going to put you on direct debit and it's going to be fine.
Well, perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Like a retainer model. So many people hate the retainer model because they're like, I don't want to go month to month. It's like, it's shit because then like, da-da-da. Yeah, everyone's got their different reasons. And probably because they got screwed by someone, they wanted out a month in and someone had them stay for 6 months.
Yep.
I get that. I get the pain. But it's also like, it is the best way for me to help you. Because if we're project to project, I can't be looking at your business in between, like say if you, because particularly with content, like someone would go 1 month, stop for 2 months, start another month, do that for 2 months, stop for 3 months.
Bring it back to the gym, right? You know, if you slack off the gym for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like I have, nearly 8, it's hard. It's hard to get back in the gym. I know I'm going to have to do a lot just to be able to get back into the rhythm of the gym. So, like, bringing it back to that whole, like, gym sort of example I find to be really, really, really powerful. But, yeah, like you said, it's hard to work project to project with people. And the monthly retainer model, and for us as business owners, we do it because we know we can get some consistency and we can guarantee our workers some consistency. And we know that by that consistency, we can offer a cheaper rate rather than that, all right, we're only going to have that job once every 8 weeks. It's like, no, we're going to have it every single month.
Well, as like from my side, like what we do with clients that we're ongoing with, I'll sit down with at least one of my team members that'll be working on their account and we'll look over their stuff once a month and plan. Like outside of all the other stuff that we're doing, like it's literally just, let's review what worked, what didn't work. What ideas do we have that we can bring to the next filming session or the next editing round that we do? Like what can we add in or do differently? We do a lot of due diligence when we're doing a project, but between projects,
you're not looking at a project you did 12 months ago and that client coming back to you. You're not revisiting. It's not like you did a post-mortem on that big project. It's not like you've documented that because you're going, oh yeah, the next one, unless it's like, okay, it's a conference, it's going to be coming around again. But most one-off brand videos, you're not doing a post-mortem for that specific client.
No. And like there's a lot of gold in like incremental improvements as well, particularly with this sort of stuff. Like if we can improve the video slightly, improve the content messaging slightly, improve the editing slightly, see, it'll make a big difference in the next round. So that model just works best.
Yeah.
So I think, you've got to deal with all these different stigmas and hang-ups that people have in their head about certain things, and you just got to try and educate them.
Yeah.
I suppose.
The best you can.
And what have you found? Like you've obviously been in the industry a very long time. What sort of pitfalls do you see clients going through, or maybe like things that they've been worried about with other agencies, and then it's kind of like you got to...
Oh, it's the whole thing of like, heck, I'm dealing with it at the moment. Someone that's just been with an agency, they've been locked into a contract 6 to 12 months. They promised the world in the beginning and then obviously overpromised. So periodically over time, they probably, like we were speaking in other episodes, they've made the investment in the early days and they just realized that it's unsustainable. So they've just been slowly like pulling back the service.
Yeah.
And the deliverables aren't there. Like whole parts of a major deliverable just are not there for that client.
Yeah.
And now it's hard for me because I'm coming in, ridiculously priced and going, I'm just trying to achieve what they were initially trying to achieve in the beginning. And this is what this is what they should have been charging. Yeah. So it puts us in that really hard battle. So usually it's like the under delivering sort of component that I run into the most. And then people budgeting and going, I can't justify this if, I can't see a return. And it's just like, well, I'm not here to guarantee a return on the content, that's largely going to come on your customer service, how well you present on camera. Like I can make you look amazing. We can redo lines and we can work some digital magic. But at the end of the day, if you're not just like a genuinely good human with a good offer, a good service delivery, the right sort of customer service around your offer too, I'm not going to guarantee your results in your business. And it's probably a bit of a controversial thing because I know there are a lot of people out there going, I'll guarantee you $10,000 next month. It's like, I'll give you the best system that can allow you to do that, but it's really going to depend on how hard you work. And I'm going to hold you accountable because I work hard. I'm going to make sure you work hard. But at the end of the day, like if you don't work with me or don't work as hard as you need to do to make this work, like that's ultimately the outcome you're going to get.
That's why, like, I moved. Obviously, you guys are moving more into this now. I completely moved away from the money promises now. Like with our content, just different space, different clients. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're doing. But purely for that reason, because I was like, I have no control over that. Like, it's why I think to the point of like, I don't know, figuring out who you want to work with, I think it's really important to go like, I want to be able to help people get this result. If that is getting people more leads, helping them convert those leads and put systems in place for that, sick. That's a service. For us, we're definitely more on like the content strategy, reach more people. It's more branding. Like I've almost moved away from like lead conversion into like branding and brand development now than anything else, and that's where we're going to be.
Yeah.
There's just understanding what you're actually delivering. Like saying I make videos just isn't good enough now.
Yeah, and being like, I promise a certain level of, whatever it be, consistency or whatever. Like, you can't. Yeah, you almost just can't sell views anymore. Like you said, you need to develop a brand and a message, and yeah, it's an interesting spot.
It is. It's changed a lot recently. Like I think, like 10 years ago, absolutely, it was more about like, well, what are you delivering? Like, what are you like? How many videos will I get? How many hours will you be on set? Like all those sort of things. And now it's like, I don't know. It's kind of irrelevant. Like if I can get you the same result with 14 videos than I can with 30 videos, like let's just go 14.
What's your opinion, actually? There's a guy out there at the moment, I forget his name. He's got this amazing content strategy where it's just like, just 4x what you're doing, or like 10x what you're doing. And it's just like, he only works with like major brands that have already got established.
Logan Forsyth, that guy, he guarantees 150 million views.
Yeah. And it's like obviously the sub account network that he has.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that's awesome, but I also think that it's one of those things where he's built a business that requires so much manpower behind it to do that. I'm sure there's a lot of systems and stuff like that, but I think Instagram recently as well came out with something that said like anything that is a direct duplicate of other content, they're trying to source that back to the original content and direct all the views back to that. So
I think that's his whole strategy, though, is by having those like sub accounts out there that are all posting. You know, you are literally just putting more views in the pocket of the initial account holder.
yeah. But like, it's also a thing if they go like, we want to suppress this stuff from happening. It may not even. It's just one of those things where it's awesome. It'd be awesome when it works. I think it also kind of requires someone that's willing to like invest a crap load of money into it, as well as already be fairly well known for that to work.
Yeah, you've definitely got to have a certain level of network.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, if Alex Hormozy pops up on my screen, I see his face and I pay attention. If someone else said exactly the same thing as him in exactly the same way, I wouldn't, because I didn't see there would be exceptions. But there's a lot of his content that heaps of people are trying to replicate it and do that, and I don't pay attention to them. So it does require already being fairly well known. I think he had a thing as well. You had to have like 300,000 followers or something like that to do it. They're trying to now replicate that system for everyone, but I think the reality is, if that does work, I would assume that it'll get saturated very quickly, and then everyone will kind of go, well, we've got to crack down on this a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in the same way, we've got clients that their maximum is, a video every second day. So I think the reality is, like, unless you're willing to spend $100,000, a month, every 3 months on your content, that's sort of unachievable to do something like that.
And going back to what we said at the start of all this, like, what is the why? What is the offer? And can you even execute on all of these extra viewerships and leads? And like we said, what is the purpose that you need all these extra viewers for? Like, I get it with people that are so systematized. They're like, we're doing 10,000 leads a month or 1,000 leads a month, whatever it is, and we've got the capacity to 10x that. I just don't know how to get more input. Like, we've already got the in-house marketing team. Blah 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 blah. I get it. For someone like that, it makes sense. Go to him. You try the system and do the investment. But for your average day-to-day person, I think honestly the best thing you can do is just get out on your phone. You see all the major accounts that have been able to survive this long because it's so raw and authentic. Slap in some Apple AirPods, or even the old ones, plug in and just do walk and talks and provide value while you walk and talk. Put up the raw, just like the raw clips. Maybe cut out the fat. Put that up. Keep doing that consistently, and stay consistent with value-driven content that's purposeful. You're actually not just fluffing around to a specific niche. That's usually the biggest battle.
I mean, it's a great way to get started.
Definitely. It's not a long-term strategy. Some people have been able to achieve it long-term.
Yeah. I think that's my only gripe with that sort of stuff. Because there's two schools of thought, right? If someone's not doing content at all and they suck on camera, don't invest tens of thousands of dollars into a video agency or high-level equipment yet. But on the other side, don't do that stuff forever. Don't just talk to even, I think the thing is, some of the guys I know that they've built a really big audience just from talking to the camera while they're driving or walk and talks. Those guys still put a lot of effort behind the scenes into what they're going to say, how they structure it. There was probably still more editing than you thought that pieced that together, because it was probably a bunch of fuck ups. It was probably a bunch of stuff that they went this is irrelevant, this is irrelevant, this is irrelevant. Make this, this is the best clip. So yeah, my only gripe is that people think that other people have made money doing this for ages, so I'll do that as well. when it's like, or if you can invest into it, it's like you will actually save a ton of time by getting someone else onto your team, whether they're an agency or in-house, whatever, to just do it for you.
Yeah.
Just work with you on it.
Yeah. And we've gone down that route of in-house team members as well. I think even if you go down the route of in-house team members, I think there's still the value of consulting, getting someone to consult and train that team member and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, the reality is as well, when people bring in-house team members, particularly their first one, everyone makes a mistake. I say mistake. I think the thing, people are expecting a chief marketing officer from a graduate.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not, as a marketing agency, we can hire graduates and train them up. Because we know what we're doing. We can give them plenty of experience to get good at all the stuff they need to become good at. If you're a mortgage broker and you bring in a mortgage broking firm and you bring in like a marketing graduate and go run all of our marketing, that's so unfair on that person. You're like, if you want to do it properly, you should be hiring a chief marketing officer that then probably still uses agencies, starts hiring out their in-house team, and even then probably like not just the graduates, but even then they've probably got some other experienced people that they really need to bring in-house for the most expensive stuff.
Yeah. Whether it be the content creation, the graphics, all that sort of stuff. Like you've got to split the roles and you've got to split the hats as much as you can.
Yeah, bloody. How long have you been doing this for now?
Since I was 18. That was when I legally first started, as the A2 man knows. But no, seriously, about since I was about 16.
Okay. How old are you? 24?
We guess we'll never know. Yeah, roughly about 24.
Okay. 8 years. That's a crap load of experience. Yeah, it's a long way from putting watermarks and paint when you first started.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for another event coming up, just to show that it's still as if. No, I'm not. No fucking chance. It'd take me hours.
8 years, right? And you and me were talking earlier, and I'm the same. Like, I started when I was 19, 18, 19-ish. I'm mid-26 now, so similar sort of time. We were talking earlier, we both have a bunch of stuff that we're not the best at. And stuff, like, but at least we know enough about it to bring in the right people and know what we want from that task or outcome, whatever it is.
And we can quickly see when the person may just not be up to it. Like they present really well, they interview really well, they do some initial tasks really well, but then when the thick of it gets really hard and the constructive criticism comes in and how did you go do that again because, you really screwed that up. But, that's part of it. When that stuff cup's coming in and, the attitude's not there to be like, cool, I'm learning, thank you for giving me feedback and investing in me. And that's not the attitude. And it's just like, oh, you're an asshole, that sort of stuff. I feel like we can see that now because, one, we've probably been that person at one point and we've gone through it. And now we're at the other end of the stick where we've got to be able to realize it in our team members that we're bringing up. So I think that's the experience that you pay for as well. Like we can quickly identify problems and we can fix the problems.
Why?
No, not that they're problems, but
even for other marketing stuff, like we'll wrap it up here, but this might be a whole nother episode, but the amount of times that we get asked about other things in marketing that like businesses will work, like, oh, we're getting this ads person, we're getting this person, they're getting this done. What do you think of this? And you can go like, they're doing a great job, or you can go, I don't know about that. That seems really weird to me. And I know that's weird because I know a lot of, like, I've got lots of benchmarks to say that that's weird. So paying for experience will save you more money in a lot of other areas as well.
Yeah, but it's the education that comes down to us ultimately, and I suppose that's what we're doing here, right? We're trying to educate, the creative entrepreneur that's out there that wants to help, wants to do better, and ultimately we just help educating other business owners that ultimately this is, it's an expensive thing, and to get the right person or to get someone with the experience, maybe not be the exact right person, but to find someone that is going to be dedicated towards you, have enough experience, maybe hasn't worked in your specific industry before, but has the skill sets to learn, adapt, and ultimately produce a good outcome. It's there's a lot of education that I suppose we as creatives need to put out there.
Absolutely.
Well, good episode. Like and subscribe.